The commenters have been asking about my lip injections, specifically, where did I go to get them? How do I like them? Did they hurt? And today I want to share my lip injections, or lack thereof, what I have actually been using as lip injections, and actually talk about societal expectations around big lips and really what has happened over just the past 5 or 10 years. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I am a critic and a skeptic, but as a medical esthetician and someone who has struggled so much with my skin and acne and my body and my personal insecurities, I'm also very curious. I love to try new things and learn new things. And while I have actually considered lip injections as well as a nose job to get a job at a plastic surgery clinic, which is a story for another day, I've never actually had lip injections or lip augmentation. That being said, I have tried and been successful at plumping my lips using different things. Specifically, back in like the 2009 era with those doo-wop lip plumping glosses that were so painful that stung the f out of my lips. And I want to share what I actually use at home to get my lips plumped and beautiful, because right now this is them with nothing on them, and how the products that I found actually work based on cosmetic chemistry and the biology of our beauty, because this has allowed me to get like a puckered pout without actually having to get any needles stuck into my lips, which again is not a bad thing and there's no judgment to those who do. It's just something that isn't right for me at this time. And as I show you how this works in real time along with a before and after, I want to also talk about societal expectations and plastic surgery trends, specifically around lip injections, because a lot of things have changed over the past couple years, especially with the rise of social media and influence from people like Kylie Jenner or other Kardashians. So this right here is what I am applying to my lips. I bought this on Amazon. I absolutely love it and it doesn't sting. But I want to show you a before and after as this does its magic. And when I say magic, it's not actually magic. It's literally biochemistry, but we're gonna go with it. Lip injections are almost always hyaluronic acid, unless you get something done on like the black market or in a creepy hotel room, which yes, has happened before, but that can lead to what's called vascular occlusion and basically killing blood flow to the face and having your lip fall off. So please get your injections done properly by a board certified or trained professional and people who work with them. But some of the most common brands for lip injections are things like Juvederm or Restylane. And basically this hyaluronic acid is injected into the lips. And as we know, our body makes hyaluronic acid naturally, but it's a glycosaminoglycan that holds onto moisture. So it actually plumps up the lips and it can create more of a Cupid's bow pout, can create more volume in the lips, etc. Unfortunately, there is some information showing that certain filler can migrate. It's less likely that filler in the lips will migrate, but we have seen it happen before. If you ever see people who almost kind of look like they have a little bit of a flat tire as a lip, again, that's no harm to them, and some people actually seek out that look because they like it, but that's usually the migration of filler, kind of past this vermilion border into other areas. There's a doctor here on YouTube that's actually done MRI studies looking at filler in the face and seeing how cheek filler as well as lip filler and everything else can actually migrate and stay in the face or in the body much longer than previously expected or anticipated. But because of that, I have chosen not to get lip injections personally. And when I was younger, I was actually really insecure about my lips. I remember on YouTube, I did this, it was a Titanic inspired makeup tutorial. And I remember that somebody left this comment that made me so upset. I deleted it, and I don't delete comments, right? Even if it's negative, I'm like, hey, let's have a conversation. I appreciate the feedback. But someone said, oh my God, you have DSLs. I was like, what's a DSL? And my lesbian ass looked it up on Urban Dictionary and it was like, sucking lips. And I was like, that is vile and I am uncomfortable. And ever since then, I felt really insecure about them. And growing up in the 90s, you know, I looked up to people like Kate Moss or Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss. And at the time, they didn't have these big, voluptuous lips. I never saw big, voluptuous lips as overly beautiful or overly ugly. I just didn't seek them out. And it wasn't until like the past 5 to 10 years that I've actually seen lip injections and these big puckered lips become more and more popular, and actually, yes, been interested in wanting them. Again, it was back in 2009 when I first got my first little lip injection treatment. It was the doo-wop plumping gloss, and baby, oh, did that shit burn. I remember spending so much money on it from Sephora, and it was basically this tingling lip treatment that would like burn your lips to the point that it created circulation and blood flow, and because your lips were literally burning and on fire, it would make them swell and look bigger. And there was also one from Too Faced that I used to use called the lip injection, but based on my natural lip anatomy, using those products, that's how I ended up getting a more puckered pout. And although I was looking to some of these over-the-counter options, the actual lip industry also saw a lot of changes during this time. We all remember back to Kylie Jenner saying that I've never had lip injections, and there was this Kylie Jenner lip challenge where people like stuck their face into like a cup so that their lips would get overly swollen, and it actually led people to go to the ER because their lips would bust open because of the pressure. Absolutely terrible. And then finally, after denying it for freaking ever, Kylie Jenner, after launching her cosmetics line, was like, oh yeah, I've had lip injections, it's no big deal. Well, Someone's personal medical history is, again, nobody else's business, but I do feel like if you are a celebrity or an influencer and you are directly using your looks or a specific asset on your face to sell products, people deserve to know what's going on, kind of like disclosing Photoshop in advertisements. That's of course my personal opinion, but a lot of people ended up feeling really bad about the way they looked based on that, and after trying the Kylie Jenner lip challenge, a lot of people decided to go get lip injections. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons did some research and they found that a lip augmentation or lip filler is done every 20 minutes. And that is a huge increase by like 50% since the year 2000. The amount that this has kind of taken off is huge, and just the way the ideal woman, and of course I use that in quotes because what is ideal, but the quote ideal woman used to be the Pamela Anderson, the big boobs, the pink lips, and like the tiny little eyebrows of like the 80s and the 90s. Well, now this Kardashian-esque Instagram user is kind of that ideal woman of today. It's the person with the super sleek hair, with the big brows, the huge lips, the makeup. And I wonder if in 10, 20 years, we're going to look back at the influencer Instagram girl today, similar to the way that today's generation will look back and see that ideal woman of the 80s. There was actually a Reddit post that was showing how all influencers are starting to look the same. And when you look at all these girls, of course they're gorgeous, but yeah, a lot of them look almost identical. And it starts to beg the question, where is the uniquity? Where is that thing that makes us stand out? And where do we get to learn to embrace and love ourselves for who we are? No problem in doing plastic surgery, lip fillers, treatments, augmentations, etc. But how do we use those to enhance our beauty instead of being a carbon copy of a Kardashian or of somebody else? And those were the primary reasons that I chose not to get lip fillers and a nose job. Again, always had an okay time with my nose. I was kind of teased for it a little bit in school, but it wasn't terrible. And it was nothing compared to what other people went through. And it wasn't until Juicy Star 07 back in like 2010 got a nose job that I thought, oh, should I be insecure about my nose? Do I need a nose job? And then when I tried to go interview for a job at a plastic surgery clinic down in the Los Angeles area, everyone had nose jobs and made some comments. And that's when I actually started to think, oh my God, do I need to change this? But I'm glad that I didn't, because I sat there and realized these are external forces and society putting these expectations on me. But what do I actually want for me and for my body? And even when we look beyond lip filler at actual lip procedures, which could be implants or lip lifts, etc., when we look at this map from plasticsurgery.org, the majority of these procedures have happened on the western side of the United States. Again, California, Los Angeles, Hollywood. And it really makes us question, when are we doing this for us versus someone else? And that's why, yes, I have been using this. I found this and I'm in love with it. And what I'm so happy about is that I can put this on and I can get this plump little pout, but I don't actually have to change my face permanently. Whereas with lip fillers, again, if they migrate, if they stay, they could be there forever. And if you want to remove them, you need hyaluronidase. You basically need this enzyme that breaks down hyaluronic acid, and it's very painful to remove them. Whereas this, yes, it wears off after like a day of use, but I can have this gorgeous, beautiful pout and not have to worry about all those complications or side effects. I'm gonna apply a little more for good measure. This is from Clarity RX. It's called the Pucker Power. No plucking, only pucking. Pucker. That's a weird word. But this is from Clarity RX. This is the first product that I've ever tried from them, and I've literally bought multiple of them because they are just that good. This is a 3-in-1 lip plumping treatment, but this also has an SPF 30. And I have tried some other SPF lip products. If they're mineral, they normally don't taste funny, but any chemical-based sunscreen lip product always like leaves a weird taste in your mouth. This one doesn't do that. And it's almost to the point where I kind of wonder, does this really have sunscreen in it? Because it's like it doesn't leave that funny taste there. But overall, it says it's a broad spectrum SPF 30, so this is what I use on almost a daily basis. They say that the sunscreen ingredient in here is homosalate, which is great, and again, it doesn't taste funny. This protects against UVA and UVB, so again, the cancer rays as well as the burning rays. But the ingredients in here that are really doing the plumping are the sodium hyaluronate as well as the palmityl tripeptide 38. Now this is super interesting because this is the same thing as matrixyl, and sodium hyaluronate is, remember, the salt form of hyaluronic acid. And what are lip injections made with? Purified hyaluronic acid. That's what your Juvederm and your Restylane is. So this is different. Of course, you're not injecting this into the lips, and it doesn't last, you know, as long as lip fillers would, but this is a small molecule, and I feel that it actually penetrates my lips. It doesn't burn or sting either. There's no capsaicin. Capsaicin is that spicy stuff that's in peppers, and I think that's what was in the doo-wop that would like make your lips burn, but this one doesn't make your lips burn, but it does kind of plump them up. They specifically say to not use this on the border. I do just because I can't help it from getting it on the border, but I find that this really puckers up my lips and makes them look really good. And there's something in here that is acting as a humectant. I believe it's the sodium hyaluronate that is holding in that moisture and drawing it into my lips. The palmityl tripeptide 38 in here is also known as matrixyl. And remember that peptides are basically these strings of amino acids, and if you fold them up, they become proteins. But matrixyl is used in a lot of anti-aging and anti-wrinkle skincare ingredients, but it works on the lips as well. And peptides, being peptides, also hold on to water. Not the same as hyaluronic acid or sodium hyaluronate, but they do hold on to moisture. And because they have these anti-wrinkle benefits, these plumping benefits, and even some wound healing benefits, not only is matrixyl great for the skin and for people worried about fine lines and wrinkles, but it's been fantastic for my lips in this formula. This one is also vegan and cruelty-free. Again, I do not know anything about this brand. I literally bought it off of Amazon. I think I paid like $34, $35. I'm now on the subscription because I do go through it. I'm in such a relationship with Amazon, I swear. They read me books at night. They bring me nice romantic meals from my favorite restaurant. And now Amazon is even going out of its way to help me pick up my prescriptions when I'm feeling sick. Amazon, it's a good relationship, but I'm stuck in it. And I'm recognizing that I'm getting a little bit codependent here. But anyways, I am on the subscription package. I use this regularly, and it's also got niacinamide and ceramides in here. Ceramides make up 50% of the stratum corneum. That stratum corneum is the outer layer of our skin. And as we get older, our skin loses more and more ceramides, which is why the skin tends to get more delicate, have more fine lines and wrinkles and kind of things that show. And that's why ceramides are so good in skincare products, because when we apply them to the skin, it replenishes that. Well, although the skin of the lips is different from the skin of the face, for example, we don't have, pores with hairs growing out on our lips do have layers of skin, and specifically the stratum corneum, which also relies heavily on ceramides. So the fact that there's ceramides and niacinamide and other vitamins in here that actually nourish the lips, but I absolutely adore this, and it's one of the lip products that also doesn't cause me to like lick my lips and make them feel drier when I'm done using it. I wouldn't say that this is the best for like dry lips. I definitely think this is a pucker and sunscreen product, but if you're someone who is constantly struggling with lip products because they dry your lips out and then they keep you in this cycle of using more and more of them, for me, this has not done that. I can't say about other people, and again, this is not a dry lip treatment, this is literally a pucker treatment, but for me, I'm so grateful that I found this because I fucking love it, and it doesn't sting my face the way that Doo-Wop does. And although I haven't personally had lip injections, I can't say what I am or am not going to do in the future. Humans are dynamic and resilient and ever-changing, and I might change my mind, but for now, that's kind of how I feel. And especially, for the last 10 years, I've struggled so much to learn to love my skin and my scars with acne. I want to do that with things like my natural curly hair, which is still smoothed out today. I want to do that with things like my nose and things like my lips and my eyes that I've been told are too small. And it's just crazy how many messages we as women or as men and non-binary friends are constantly bombarded with when it comes to our beauty. Being told that our bodies aren't good enough, our faces aren't good enough, and we need to go follow this celebrity and buy their diet weight loss teas and do their procedures and buy their lip kits in order to feel good about ourselves. And I say f no to that, even as I struggle through it myself. And I think that denying that I struggle through it myself would be lying to myself and to others. I still have my bad days where I look in the mirror and I don't feel good, but at least I have options that make me feel better. And then I can be like, hey, I can choose to put this on and take it off, and I know that I'm still embracing and enhancing my natural beauty, instead of having to do something that makes me feel like I'm changing myself in order to capitulate to the needs of society. And again, for anyone who does treatments or procedures, it's totally fine. Just make sure that you're doing them for you. If you were invisible, nobody else could see you, and you could only see yourself, would you still want this treatment or procedure? If the answer is yes, absolutely go for it. But if somebody else is teasing you or making fun of you for it, a surgery, a lip injection, even a product isn't going to help that. We need to work first on what was happening inside, because you can change everything externally. But if what's going on here is still negative or still harmful, then nothing on the outside really matters. If you do want a video about the treatments and procedures I have gotten done, talking about things like laser or chemical peels, Botox, etc., I'm happy to open up or debunk or speak about any and all of those things. But overall, I do want you to remember to be beautiful, which literally means you be beautiful in the way that you feel best expressing yourself. Do stay hydrated, reapply your SPF, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.